Alright, in this video, we're going to be going over the new top 5 best guns after the Modern Warfare 2 Season 3 Reloaded update. A bunch of weapons got buffed as well as nerfed, so it's time to change all your class setups. If you guys enjoyed the video and these help you out increasing your KD ratio, potentially dropping your first MGB nuke, make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on those post notifications, and let me know down in the comment section right now, what is your favorite gun to use here in multiplayer at this current given time. Now, for the first class that we're taking a look at the Chimera. I have to include the Chimera in this list because this weapon is a monster and arguably one of the best ARs after the ISO Hemlock nerf here. For the first attachment, we are going to utilize the Bruen Flash Grip to increase that sprint to fire speed as well as aim down sight speed so we can get that first shot and guarantee that kill. For the tuning, we are going to be bumping up that sprint to fire speed to -0.19 and increase aim down sight speed at -0.71. Now, we are going to utilize the TRX-56 stock. I wish we could rock that Ravage 10, but it's simply not going to work in this class. You're going to have far too much recoil with this attachment. This is going to increase that stability and recoil control, exactly what we need. Now, for the tuning, we are going to bump up that aim walking speed at -0.77, as well as increase aim down sight speed at -3.23, a great attachment and tune combination. We are not utilizing an optic. The iron sights are going to be crystal clear for this loadout, and we're also skipping over the laser. These are not going to help us out at all. Now, we are going to rock the 10-inch SA Phoenix. This is a mandatory attachment on the Chimera, allowing us to have that increased damage range, velocity, hipfire accuracy as a nice bonus, as well as recoil control, which is huge. Now, for the tuning, we are going to be bumping up that aim down sight speed at -0.13 and aim walking speed at -0.16. Now, for the muzzle, we have the Polarfire S, and this is going to be a great attachment on the Chimera, allowing us to get behind the enemy spawn, flip a quick and streak, and drop those nukes. We're going to have that increased damage range, bullet velocity, recoil smoothness, and overall making sure we can take people out at close range as well as long range very easily. For the tuning, we are going to be increasing that velocity at +0.77 and more aim down sight speed at -0.99. And then finally, because we are not running an underbarrel, it's not needed, we are going to utilize the 45 round mag to bump up the capacity so we can run and gun and take out more than one player very easily. And once you go ahead and jump into the firing range, you'll be very happy because we have a quick ADS, and we're also going to have a class setup that's going to have controllable recoil and be able to take people out very easily. The remainder of the build is going to be the FTAC Siege, aka the Tech 9. If you're using it as a secondary, the tuning is going to be irrelevant. I'm running that SIR 160 rear grip, the 72 round drum, the SH40 grip, the Super Tac barrel, as well as the FJX DI laser. Overall, a great class setup. This weapon is going to be borderline a pocket submachine gun. It's as if the PPSH is now in Modern Warfare 2. Now, for the stun grenade as our tactical, the proximity mine as our lethal, and for the perk package, we are using double time scavenger, resupply, quick fix, and for the field upgrades, we're rocking pro with munitions box and dead silence. This is a phenomenal class setup that you cannot go wrong with. Now, for setup number 2, we're taking a look at the Lockman 556. This weapon received a massive buff this update. Definitely do not sleep on this AR. For the first attachment, we're rocking the LMK64 grip, a great attachment on this assault rifle, increasing that sprint to fire speed as well as much needed aim down sight speed. We can get that first shot and pretty much guaranteeing that kill. Now, for the tuning, we are going to be increasing that sprint to fire speed to -0.33 and more recoil steadiness at +0.35. We're almost going to mirror this so we can have the best of both worlds, close range as well as long ranges. Now, for the stock, we have to rock the Lockman S9 factory stock. We're essentially taking the MP5 stock, putting it on the Lockman 556 in order to have increased sprint speed, aim walking speed, crouch movement speed, and aim down sight speed, making this weapon a little bit easier to use at those close to medium ranges. For the tuning, we are going to bump up the aim walking speed at -1.86 and more aim down sight speed at -3.35. We are not running an optic. It's not going to be necessary in this class setup, and we're also skipping over the laser. These are most definitely going to be hurting more than helping. Now, we are going to rock a barrel, which is going to be the Lockman Rat barrel, that 15.9-inch barrel to increase that bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control, which is huge, as well as hip fire accuracy as a nice bonus. For the tuning, we are going to bump up that aim down sight speed at negative 0.21 and more recoil steadiness at plus 0.39. We're going to rock the Echoless 80 here. Overall, a great attachment on the Lockman 556 with that sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and more smoothness to go ahead and have a little bit easier recoil control. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up that velocity at plus 0.58 and more smoothness at plus 1.13. And then finally, because we do have space for an underbarrel, we are going to rock the F-Type 56. This is overall going to be a great attachment for the stability, hip fire accuracy, stabilization. Again, smoothing out that recoil pattern, and coupled with the tuning set for increased aim walking speed at negative 0.26 and recoil stabilization at plus 0.75, you're going to be very happy because once you go ahead and jump in the firing range, you're going to be able to quickly snap on the players. And obviously, like all my class setups, these guns are going to have very little recoil. The remainder of the build is going to be the F-Tac Siege, same attachments here, and I have on the stun grenade, proximity mine, and for the perks, I'm utilizing double type scavenger, resupply, quick fix, and for the field upgrades, I have pro enabled with munitions box and dead silence. Give this a go. This weapon is a straight monster. Now for class setup number 3, we're taking a look at the ISO Hemlock. This weapon did receive a nerf, but I'm still going to include this in the top 5 here because this weapon is going to be great if you're still struggling at increasing your KD or trying to get your first MGB nuke. Now, we're going to run it back with an OG class setup. We have the Phantom Grip. We're not going to rock that X10 grip here. This is an overall going to drastically increase that sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. And we're also going to be tuning it for that increased sprint to fire speed at negative 0.22 and more aim down sight speed at negative 0.77. We are not running a stock. It's not going to be necessary, but we are going to utilize the Cronen Mini Pro here for that precision sight picture. Now, unfortunately, on the ISO Hemlock, we cannot tune this attachment. It's going to create negative values. Now, for the laser, we're skipping over this. It's going to be completely irrelevant. It's not going to help us out, just like how tuning the optic is not going to help us out on the ISO Hemlock. You're going to actually go ahead and have this weapon have a slower ADS, which is what we don't want to have happen. Now for the barrel, we're going to increase the damage range, bullet velocity, hip fire accuracy, and recoil control with that Feitler T50, the best barrel to run on the ISO Hemlock if you're looking for a long range build. For the tuning, we are going to be increasing that aim down sight speed at negative 0.26, as well as aim walking speed at negative 0.37. Now, for the muzzle, we are going to utilize the Echoless 80. This is a great attachment on the ISO Hemlock. Normally, we rock this weapon loud and proud, but after the nerf, we are going to suppress it, making sure we can take people out very easily at close ranges, long ranges, and overall just run on their spawn and build a quick and easy streak. We have that sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. For the tuning, we are going to bump up that velocity at plus 0.74 and more aim down sight speed at negative 1.04. And then finally, for the underbarrel, we are going to use the Commando foregrip this time. A little bit of a different attachment as opposed to the F-Type 56. We don't need this on this weapon. This is going to be allowing us to smooth out that recoil pattern. And for the tuning, we are going to be bumping up that aim walking speed at negative 0.25 and aim down sight speed at negative 0.46. Once you go ahead and jump in the firing range, the nerfed ISO is still going to have a quick ADS, and I mean, ain't no recoil. Man of the build is going to be the F-Tac Siege, same exact attachments, and we are using the stun grenade, proximity mine, and for the perks, we have on double time scavenger, resupply, quick fix, and for the field upgrades, we have pro enabled with munitions box and dead silence. Overall, a phenomenal class setup after the nerf, man. I mean, they can't nerf this weapon. It's impossible. For class setup number 4, we're taking a look at the BAS-P, another weapon that received some tweaking this reloaded update. This submachine gun is amazing now. Definitely worth checking out. Now, for the first attachment, we're going to rock that Bruin Flash Grip, increase sprint to fire speed, and aim down sight speed. And for the tuning, we are going to bump up that sprint to fire speed some more to negative 0.20 and more steadiness at plus 0.84. Now, we are going to rock a stock here, and we're going to utilize the Bruin Flash V4 stock. I wish we could rock the stockless mod, but this weapon is going to have far too much recoil, and I know we all hate that. This is going to increase that sprint speed, aim walking speed, crouch movement speed, as well as aim down sight speed. So a good compromise, and we're not going to have uncontrollable recoil. For the tuning, we are going to be bumping up that aim walking speed at -1.7 and aim down sight speed at -2.58. Now, we are going to use an optic on this weapon because the iron sights are okay, but the Corona Mini Pro is going to be better. The blue dot, you can't go wrong with it. For the tuning, we are going to be increasing the aim down sight speed to -1.55, and that's going to be it. We're not running a laser. These are irrelevant, but we are going to rock the Bruen Typhoon barrel, the 10.5-inch barrel, to go ahead and increase that sound suppression, which is integrated, which is nice, the hip fire accuracy, bullet velocity, and more damage range here. Now, for the tuning, we are going to be increasing the aim down sight speed at -0.25 and more recoil steadiness at +0.35. A great combo of close range and long range capability. Obviously, because we have an integrated suppressor, the muzzle is going to be restricted, but we are going to rock an underbarrel, which is going to be the Phase 3 grip, which is going to be the best on this submachine gun, bumping up that stability, hip fire accuracy, and recoil stabilization, kind of like the Commando or the F-Tac Ripper, but just an SMG grip. Now, for the tuning, we are going to be bumping up the aim walking speed at -18 and also the recoil stabilization at +0.67. Overall, a great attachment and tune combo. And once you jump in the firing range, you'll be very happy because we're going to have a quick ADS. I mean, look how fast this is, and still controllable recoil. So definitely go ahead and give this a go if you're looking for a submachine gun that was recently buffed that you can shake up the meta with. And the setup is going to be the F-Tac Siege, same attachments, stun grenade, proximity mine, and for the perks, we have on double time scavenger, resupply, as well as quick fix, with the trusty handy field upgrades at the pro, finishes box, and dead silence. Great setup. These weapons kind of look the same when you look at it in the firing range, but they're very good to use. Now, for class set number 5, we're taking a look at the Kastov 7.62. This is going to be a great two-shot class setup. This weapon can kill in 2 bullets. Some people don't believe that the Kastov is capable of getting 2-shot kills. Trust me, once you build this setup, you're going to see why it is possible. Now, for the rear grip, we have the True Tac grip. This is going to be increasing that sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. And for the tuning, we are going to be bumping up that sprint to fire speed some more at -0.16 and more aim down sight speed at -0.45. We are going to rock a stock, which is going to be the Kastov Rama stock. I don't like the Pro Light TO3 or the broadside on this class. This is overall going to be a better attachment, bumping up that aim walking speed and sprint speed so you can run and gun and go crazy. For the tuning, we are going to be bumping up the aim walking speed some more at -2.09 and more aim down sight speed at -1.55. We are going to rock a Corona Mini Pro just for ease of use here. You don't have to rock it, but again, just to make the 2-shot kills easier, the blue dot sight is going to be a good option. For the tuning, we're going to be increasing that aim down sight speed at -2.81. We're not running a laser. These are irrelevant. We're also not running a barrel. These are not going to help us out. But we are going to rock a muzzle, which is going to be the SA1155 to reduce that horizontal and vertical recoil control, making this assault rifle a lot easier to handle at those medium to longer ranges. Now, for the tuning, we are going to bump up that gun kick control at +0.26 and more aim down sight speed at -0.59. And then finally, for the underbarrel, we're going to utilize the F-Tac 56 for ultimate recoil control, and we're going to be smoothing out the recoil pattern as well. And for the tuning, we are going to be bumping up that aim walking speed at -0.34 and more recoil stabilization at +0.57. Once you go in the firing range, you're going to see how the 2-shot kills are possible. You aim for the head, 1, 2. 2-shot kill Kastov build. I know a lot of people like to say this weapon can't be capable of getting 2-shot kills, but you saw here, 1, 2. Very easy to use, and it's going to have controllable recoil even at medium ranges. And I'd say this is a pretty rock solid class setup. Main of the build is going to be the F-Tac Siege, same attachments, and for the stun grenade under our tactical, proximity mine under the lethal, and for the perks we have on double time scavenger, resupply, quick fix, and for the field upgrades we have pro enabled, plus munitions box, and dead silence. Overall, a great setup, and I would consider these the top 5 best guns to use after the Season 3 Reloaded update. If there are 2 classes I want you guys to check out right now, give the Lockman 5.56 a go. This is overall a great assault rifle that was buffed recently. And also, give the BAS-P a try to go ahead and shake up the meta. If any of these class setups help you guys out, let me know down in the comment section of the video. And make sure you drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications. Your boy Ears. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.